Good morning. Welcome to the MICT CETA KZN. I hear an echo. Can I try again? Welcome to the MICT CETA KZN SDF Capacity Building Workshop. My name is Bontle Mokwena. I'm the Senior Manager SSP from MICT CETA. We are here today to take you through the WSP ATR process, and if there are any new SDFs in the room, to also take them through the process. And if you're returning, welcome back. We also need to take you through as a formality as part of the process. We'll also take you through the registration. If you're returning SDF, our ICT will demonstrate how you go back into the system. If you're a new SDF, they will also demonstrate how you join the system, and it will take you through the different pages of the WSP ATR on the LMS in terms of what you need to complete and any new requirements that you need to know about. So I'm going to, do we have people online, Ms. Messina? Okay, so welcome to those that are online. Welcome to the KZN SDF Capacity Building. Please keep your mics muted. If you have any questions, you are welcome to type them in the chat box. I do have the team here that will respond to any questions you have as I go through the presentation, should there be anything burning. However, we will give also a Q&A session after we do the presentation if there is anything that you would like to ask or get clarity on. So that's the presentation outline. I'll briefly go through the mandate of the MICT CETA just as a reminder, and what are the WSP ATRs and why we need them, what is sector skills planning, basically in terms of the data that we get from the submissions, how we use it. Also briefly touch on the OFO, and then after that we'll have our ICT team demonstrate the SDF registration and the submission requirements in terms of the LMS on the system. And we'll have a Q&A and a closure. I'm going back. So as you know, the MICT CETA mandate derives from the Skills Development Act, which establishes the CETA as one of the 21 CETAs that offer education and training opportunities. So we are responsible for the MICT sector, which is 5 subsectors, which is electronics, ICT, film and media, advertising, electronics. So those are the 5 subsectors that we have, which are linked to the different SIG codes. So if you are submitted WSP ATR on behalf of your company, you would have to choose the correct SIG codes that identifies the work that your company does in line with the sector industrial classification code. So that's how you belong to MICT CETA, by choosing a SIG code that is within those 5 subsectors. So also in terms of the Skills Development Levies Act and the mandatory grants, if you want to claim back the 1%, you need to submit a mandatory grant or a WSP ATR application where you are able to claim back the 20%. That is also an incentive from the Department of Higher Education and Training to make you submit the data to us that will help us plan better for the different interventions that we need to do. So the 20% that you're claiming back is actually supposed to motivate you to complete the WSP ATR. So as you know, as part of your submission, you have a workplace skills plan, you have an annual training report that goes hand in hand with the workplace skills plan. However, if you're submitting for the first time, you're not expected to submit an annual training report. So in terms of the workplace skills plan, that document is supposed to document your skills needs within the different organizations that you represent. That document also allows us to have the sector intelligence in terms of understanding the demographics or the sector profile of the different companies. We use that information and aggregate it and get the sense on how the sector looks like in terms of sector profile. We're able to use that information to understand the age, race, geographical location, disability status, education level, OFO classification levels. So that data allows us to build a profile of the employees in the sector and where their skills needs are in terms of formulating the different interventions that we need to come up with. So that data, we also use it as part of our SSP research. So that's critical information for us because we get it from you at the 6-digit level, meaning we get it at the OFO level, at the employee level. So as you complete your WSP ATR, you complete it with each employee that you have to fill in the information for. That's more accurate. However, it's not the only source of data that we use. There are other sources of data that we use. We also have the annual training report. As I've indicated, if you're submitting for the first time, you don't need an ATR. However, the ATR is an accountability tool to say that in your previous WSP submission, you said you're going to train on. We would like to see and confirm if you have actually trained on those as you claim the 20% back. We also have the pivotal training plan. As you know, pivotal is very critical as well as part of professionalizing any sector and making sure that people get the correct qualifications for the jobs that they are in. So there is a pivotal training plan. We also have a separate budget within our SETA where we assign for the pivotal training plan. We also have the pivotal training report. So if you have submitted your pivotal training plan with a WSP ATR in the previous year, you will also have to submit your pivotal training plan. Am I going back? Sorry. So this is just a highlight to show you the trend of the WSP ATR. So how we look at the WSP ATR, we take it as a survey. So we have more than, I think, 300,000 employers in the sector, or 30,000, I might be wrong. Out of that number, only the 1,950 submitted in the previous financial year. So that number, it's a survey for us. It represents a sample of the 30,000 employers that are in the sector. So that information is also reliable to us because we can generalize it in terms of the research principles that we have to apply. So it is a sample that can be generalized for the entire population within the employer population. So 2024 was our highest submission rate at 1,950, with the highest submissions received from Gauteng. It's the smallest province, but in terms of the economy, it's where the economy is. So you find that most of the employers are actually based there. So most of the time, everything happens in Gauteng, followed by the Western Cape and KZN, with the smallest submissions, which is also the smallest province, being the Northern Cape. So this is just to give you an idea of the submissions that we receive every year and how those numbers are actually structured for your own benefit and understanding of how we use the data. This also supports your DG grant applications. In terms of the DG grant window, we're able to see where people are in terms of where they're located, in terms of the skills that are needed in that area or in that province. You also see the same picture you see here is the same picture you'll see on the DG grant budget. Most of the programs or the spend is actually in Gauteng, where there is the greatest demand. Besides the demand, also the skills development providers, a lot of them are in Gauteng as compared to other provinces. So most of the training that we need to do, there is resources and infrastructure in Gauteng, followed by the other two provinces, which is Western Cape and KZN. Et cetera, et cetera. So this also supports the DG grant in terms of what we're able to implement and where. So who qualifies for the mandatory grant? So in order for you to qualify for a mandatory grant, your company must be making 500,000 on above per annum turnover. and then you would have to pay 1% of that every month through SARS, 1% of your payroll. That payment, or those payments, must be consistent for 12 months for you to be able to claim the 20%. Should you miss a payment on the 1%, you will not be able to get your tranche payment or part of your 20% back. If you know the 20% is paid back in 4 tranche payments, so there's one payment a quarter over a period of 12 months. So some of the things that we check is that your levy payments are up to date. Some of you will need to submit the MP201s as part of your submissions in terms of claiming the mandatory grant. We also have a way of checking through the SARS levy that comes through from the Department of Higher Education and Training, which tells us every month how many companies paid their 1% and who are they. Once we need to allocate payment, we actually verify against that list. I'm not sure how many of you have been affected by the non-payment of tranche 2 and tranche 3 if you are in this room. There is a system glitch. Unfortunately, it's beyond our control. It's at the Department of Higher Education and Training. So we are not able to confirm if you've been making regular payments of levies. So based on that, because we have not received the SARS file, we are not able to process payment. Our finance department will not be able to, because that will be against the grant regulations and the Skills Development Levies Act. So if you have not received the payment 2 and 3, just be patient until that matter is resolved by the department, as it's beyond our scope. So as we have indicated, that you have to have up-to-date levies that you're paying in order for you to qualify to claim a mandatory grant. You must also be registered with the SETA, so any of the SIG codes that are there that you choose must be within the MICT SETA, so I suspect that you're here because your SIG code belongs to us. You must also employ an SDF, so you need to have an SDF that you appoint. Basically, that means you are not able to access our learner management system without an SDF. And as you know, what is the registration process for the SDF? We'll touch on it briefly, but without an SDF, you are not able to access the LMS, meaning that you're not able to access the application. Then you also need to submit within the required time, which is every year at the end of April. Should you require an extension, you need to do that in writing before the deadline. The extension request is not guaranteed. It still has to be approved by our board. So you need to give reasons why you are requesting the extension. You need to give evidence in terms of whatever the reason is that made you not submit on time. So we also encourage you to please avoid submitting on the last minute or just before midnight on the due date. The SETA has opened the system in December to allow everybody to start work on the WSP ATR, so that we don't have issues towards submission where people submit late and there's a system glitch. Should there be a system glitch and you think the system glitch was on our side, our IT department will investigate it. We won't take just your word. We'll go back and investigate it. Should we find that there was no glitch, unfortunately, you will not be granted an extension. So please avoid submitting in the last minute. Once you submit your request for an extension, the system will still be closed for you because the extension had not been approved. Once it's approved, which will be within a 30 days period from the closing date, once the board has made a decision, then we'll be able to come back to you and indicate if your application for extension has been granted. We will open the system for you, only those that have been granted extensions, and you will only have 30 days from that day to complete the WSP ATR once you've been granted an extension. So in terms of the mandatory requirements, and in terms of some of the issues that companies might have gotten away with, which we are bringing back now and being stringent with. As you're aware, we have different size companies. We have small, medium, and large. The small is those that employ less than 50. We have not been strict on this regulation in terms of companies that employ more than 50. They need to have a training committee or a skills development committee. When you submit your authorization form, there must be a labor union representative who has signed there in collaboration with the minutes from your training committee. So there has been instances in the past where I think the team were not strict on it. Unfortunately, it's against the mandatory, the grant regulations. It's also against the Skills Development Levies Act. It's also against the agreement at NEDLAC with the Skills Accord that each workplace skills plan that companies submit must be consulted with the labor union that is present within the organization. Should you not have a labor union, however you employ 50 people or more, you need to write a letter to us indicating that there is no labor union within the organization. That letter must not be signed by the SDF. It must be signed by the head of the company or head of corporate services, who must confirm that there is no labor union within the organization. Then the chairperson of the training committee can sign where it says labor union representative, or whoever is delegated to sign in that sense. But we also need to see from your training committee minutes that you have actually consulted on your WSP-ATR, because the absence of a labor union does not absolve you from consulting on the WSP-ATR when you employ 50 plus people in your organization. So that is something that we'll be looking at. So what we normally do, we normally send it back if that requirement is not met. There are also those companies that are still on query status from the 2024 submissions for various reasons. It could have been banking details, it could have been the signature on the WSP-ATR itself. We're sitting on 58 around a week or so ago. So those companies have not been approved yet. And we are under no obligation to be following up with any company on outstanding documentation because the documentation should have been submitted correctly the first time at the end of April. However, we allow you the grace to submit the required information. However, it can be crossed into a new year, which is now many months later. We're still sitting with that problem. So that also says to us that you are not interested in claiming your 20% back. So should you not respond with the required documentation that we're looking for by the end of March, it means that you will forfeit your mandatory grant that you applied for in April 2024. Once that money is forfeited at the end of March, you cannot claim it back. It will go into the DG grant. So please be aware, if your company has not been approved for a WSP-ATR, or they have not been declined either. So we also find that this challenge poses when people employ external SDFs. There are normally issues with the communication between the company and the external SDF, or the external SDF might leave the company but not notify the SETA, or the employer not notify the SETA that we have changed an SDF, it's no longer so and so. Please, for any further communication, please send it to us. So there's always that gap. Where companies employ external SDFs, we find that most of these things that are not being able to be resolved are possibly with external SDFs. So it's the responsibility of the company, not even the external SDF, to make sure that the correct information is submitted to us. Unfortunately, we've had that issue before with a big company. The external SDF did not do what they were required to do on time. Unfortunately, they lost the 20%, which was worth millions. It was unfortunate, but there was nothing we could do because they came back to us outside the period. We have been reminding the SDF as we have on our system. Unfortunately, they have ignored those requests. So be mindful of that, because sometimes it can make your relations with the company quite sour, because they would have lost the 20%. And that may put you at risk of also using your job as an external SDF with that company. Okay. So I think I've touched on all the important things. Like I've said, minutes. Some people ask, how many minutes do you want? We want all the minutes where the WSP-ATR was discussed at the training committee. You are allowed to upload those as part of your application. We read them. We need to read them. So in terms of how we use the data, so as I've indicated, the WSP-ATR firstly helps us with the demographics or having a sector profile of the employees. So when I say employees, I also mean We also use the SARS levy file, which also has employer information, but specifically for the WSP ATR, it helps us understanding those that need training in terms of the skills needs that you would have identified in your WSP ATR. It will give us the employment profile, identify any skills gaps that you would have indicated in your application. There are several questions we ask on the WSP ATR itself in terms of how long has it taken to fill specific vacancies that you say I had to fill, what is the reason, is it salary, is it geographic area, is it skill, etc., etc. It also helps us focus for future skills needs. It also helps us monitor training and development. We also monitor the training that we give out. We also do a tracer study every year in terms of the different learning interventions the SETA has implemented in a particular financial year. We do employ an external service provider to actually track those learners and find out how the MICT SETA program was able to assist them. Do they think that they were able to move further in their careers because of the MICT SETA program, etc., etc. We have that. It also allows us to have an engagement with you as a stakeholder in terms of getting the information that we need from you, and you also asking us or getting what you need from us. So with the information, it allows us to plan in terms of our sector skills planning. So we do strategy development as well with WSP ATR data as one of the sources that we use. From the data, we also develop a sector skills plan. From the sector skills plan, we're able to come up with a list of those occupations in high demand, as we call it, hard to fill vacancies, etc., etc. So from that list, we're able to draft our strategy. In the strategy, we indicate what are the priority areas that we will focus on as a SETA in terms of training. And this information from the WSPHR contributes towards that list. It's not the only contributor. There are other sources of data that we use to triangulate the information, but we rely on the WSPHR data for targeted training. So in terms of how we use your WSP ATR data to draft or to develop our sector skills plan document, we do have a sector skills plan document on our website. If you're not aware of it, please go there and read it. It will also help you understand what is our focus area as a SETA and what training interventions do we normally focus on. So in terms of that, what we do is we'll review the previous year's SSP in terms of any identified gaps. We do desktop research, data analysis, literature review as well of the previous submissions and any other documentation out there. We also do field research where we might have called you for an interview or your company to sit down with us and answer a few questions, survey. You'll notice that in the LMS there is a built-in survey as well that contributes to this process. We also consider the WSPHR submission as a survey, a big survey for us, and we will analyze those, and we have focus groups. We also do have focus groups where we analyze the data and go back and ask the sector to say, do you agree if this is a reflection of what we found out? Our SSP is also peer-reviewed by several professional bodies in the sector in terms of alignment and relevance. So we do send it out for peer review, and we do get feedback on that. And once that is approved, we use it as our planning document to craft the strategy in terms of the strategic plan and the APP. Once we've done that, we link that to a budget. So you see with the DG grant, we have a huge budget that we can spend on the DG grant. It's based on this entire process of understanding what are the skills needs, what are the skills gaps, what are the focus areas that we need to focus on, and at what level. So in terms of that data we get from the WSPATR, we're actually able to also map the qualification levels from NQF to the lowest to the highest. We can tell you how many people in the sector are at that level. So that is in terms of using the OFO. You're aware of what the OFO is, which is the Organizing Framework for Occupation. It's a classification system used primarily in South Africa. We actually adopted it from New Zealand and Australia to classify occupations in the labor market. So the idea behind the OFO is to move away from jobs to occupations, with the understanding that with one occupation there are many jobs that are attached to it. If you understand the OFO, you understand what I'm saying. So we could be in different jobs, but we have similarities in our jobs, which are linked to one occupation. But the jobs are more to do with titles, so we might be calling the different jobs different titles. But if we had to go to the tasks, or what is it that you do within that job, you'll find that they're linking to a specific occupation, but the people who are doing the job are actually, the title is different, but the content of the job is the same. So OFO is actually meant to do that. For many reasons, it makes us plan better. With one occupation and one code, we are able to plan better and understand. It also will allow HR departments to avoid salary discrepancies, because if we are all linked to one occupation, however, the salaries are hugely different, yet the tasks are the same, then there is a problem there. And we are not linking an occupation to a qualification. This is about grouping jobs. And it's also not about linking it to a person. It's about the job, not the person behind it. So that's where we often get it wrong. We want to link it to the person who's already in the job. So we use that. So even in the organizations that you work in now, you should be using the OFO. You should be classifying your employees using the OFO. Not only use it during the WSPATR, but you should be using it continuously for also other benefits. So currently we're using version 2021. We haven't had a formal update since. We did have a meeting with the head on Friday. They did indicate to us that this is the most relevant and accurate version of the OFO. It might be saying 2021, but it is correct and has the necessary updates should there have been any updates that were made. So this is the correct version, so don't let 2021 make you think that it's outdated. It's not outdated. There has been just minor changes, so they don't prefer to change the version because there has been very minor updates. So as I've indicated, the occupation versus jobs. So the occupation will group the different jobs looking at similarities in terms of the tasks that the job is doing. So a job is a set of tasks and duties carried out by one person for a particular employer. It has a description and sets out the details of tasks, duties, and standards. When it comes to an occupation, it's a set of jobs, tasks, and duties characterized by a high degree of similarity. So I think I've touched on that. So within occupations, specializations identify vacancies. So you could have one, for example, for argument's sake, the doctor. The doctor has different specializations, but it's linked to one occupation. So you can have different specializations, but if you have to use the OFO code, it will always be one code, which is linked to the occupation. So this is how we're using the OFO. So this is how you should be using it within your organization to classify different jobs, which you will link to an occupation. So the OFO structure is structured into 8 occupational categories. Okay, I think I used the old presentation. So there are 8 categories of the OFO, the highest being the managers and the lowest being the elementary workers, the second being professionals, and the third being associate professionals, et cetera, et cetera. That's the structure of the OFO. So within those 8 occupational categories, it's also linked to an NQF level. You'll notice that at the highest level, managers, professionals, and associate professionals, those are at NQF level 6 and above, nothing below. And if you had to see how we analyze the data from the WSPATR, you'll see that within our 5 subsectors, we have a highly educated workforce, meaning that the learning interventions that we need to be developing and qualifications should also be at that level. We wouldn't want to be developing lower level qualifications for people who are highly skilled and highly educated. So the OFO also helps us in that sense. And also we have the OFO structure in terms of where we start with the occupation, minor group, sub-major group, and major group. So we use the software development developer as an example there, where the software developer and that 6-digit code is the occupation. And within the software developer, there are minor groups, which are software developers. They will use that code 2512. If we move up, we have the sub-major group, which is software and applications developers and analysts. Then the major group will fall under information and communications technology professionals. This is also allowing you to understand what within each occupation, what the tasks and the duties are, so that you're able to group similar occupations, similar jobs to this occupation of software developer. Some institution might call it a different name, but if you look at the tasks and duties, they are talking about a software developer. So this is how the OFO is structured. You can always go back to the different tabs on the Excel spreadsheet to read through what each one is about in terms of tasks and duties and the levels. This is where I pause at the end of my presentation before we go to the SDF registration demonstration. Are there any questions you want to ask me? Are there any questions online? Are we all covered? Okay, I see we don't have any questions here. Thank you very much. I'll hand over to Mr. Timothy Chwene from our IT department to demonstrate the SDF registration. After that, we'll have a tea break and we'll come back and finalize the last segment. Thank you.
This is the only way we can do this. I can't do anything about it now. We've already changed things around. It is what it is.
Morning, colleagues. Am I audible for the colleagues in? Okay. All right, let's start. Okay, colleagues, I will deal with SDF registration and also with a WSP application. But firstly, I will show you how to register on the system as a new SDF. If you are an existing SDF, I will also continue to show you how you link yourself with new companies, okay? So what you need to do first, you need to go to MICT CETA website. That's where you'll be able to access our learner management system, LMS. You need to go to the far right corner, which it says stakeholder login. That's where you start to access our system. You click LMS login. Once you click LMS login, it takes you to this screen, which is our landing page for our LMS login. As a new SDF, what you need to do, you need to firstly click register. You register, you may click register. you find this form as a new SDF. If you are an existing SDF, you go straight to the login credential. You provide your login credentials and log in into the system. So colleagues, when it comes to this page here, we do understand that you have multiple roles under MICT CETA. You deal with learning program, you deal with quality assurance in the ETQA department, you also deal with the SSP department, which is mandatory grants under SSP department as an SDF. So what you need to do here for you to be able to manage all your account, one account with multiple roles, you don't need to change your information. If you previously registered as an SDF, if you need a new role, what you need to do, you just come and provide the same information that you have provided as an SDF and select a new role. Or if you are currently having those roles and now you wish to add an SDF role on the system, on your roles, what you need to do, you just provide your name, same email that you used for previous role, and also same ID or passport. You select SDF. Once you select SDF, you provide your password and you re-enter the password. You agree to MICT CETA policy. You do this, I'm not a robot, and you click register. If you are a new SDF with no role under our system, the system will generate an account for you, the role of SDF. But if you have a learning program role or other different roles, the system will take your information and check first if you have a role. Once it finds that you have a role, it will attach an SDF role under that account. Okay? So it becomes easy. You can use one email with multiple roles. All right? Okay, let me go to sign in. So once you are registered, you'll receive a notification, and also you can come here and sign in as an SDF. You provide your email and also password. You click I'm not a robot. You click sign in. Okay? If you only have one role, the system will take you straight into dashboard. But let's say you had learning program role and then you registered as an SDF, it will come and add an SDF role here. Now, when you log in, it gives you these options. Which role do you want to log in with? Then you select the correct one, okay? I will select SDF. Then this is the landing page for SDF. On the landing page, on the far left, we have our navigation, which starts with the dashboard. The dashboard, it's what you see here, where we have a countdown at the below left. We have an announcements, and also here we just give you a summary of the companies that you have applied for. These are those multiple companies here at the below. We have profile, where you need to update your information. You'll update your personal information and also go to contact information, also SDF information, and you click save. Under profile, you can also change your password under your profile. Now we move to SDF documents. Under SDF documents, colleagues, this is where we are sharing documents with you as MICT CETA. So these documents can be documents that can assist you on the system while you are doing your application. It can be documents that you need to read to understand the policies. So all the documents that we wish to share with you as an SDF, you will find them here. okay, including SIG codes. If there are latest SIG codes, we can update them here. But currently, we are still using these ones, okay? Now we have SDF registration. This is where you will start your registration as an SDF. We'll come back to this one. You can see that we have different financial year. The active one is the one at the top. We also have WSP application. This is where you do your application for WSP submission. Also, we have secondary SDF. Under secondary SDF, this is where you appoint a secondary SDF. I'll show you how it works. And remember, when you appoint a secondary SDF, it means that person will have a role to do the same thing that you do on the application, but they won't be able to submit an application. Then we have query. Under query, that's where you communicate with us and you are able to track your communication with us. So open query, that's where you have sent a message to us, and then assigned, you can see that, okay, the query was assigned to Timothy, and then closed, it means the query was resolved, okay? Now we move to the far right corner, top right corner. We have these icons here. With these icons, colleagues, the first icon is a logout icon, if you wish to log out. The second icon, that's where you ask us questions. So you firstly select the department that you want to send your message to. You put your title, and also you put your question here. Okay, once you click ask, it comes here under open queries. Then you'll be able to see this query was assigned to who to assist you, okay? We also have user manuals next to this, where you will be able to view user manuals. Still loading. So with user manuals, colleagues, this is where you can watch videos on how to do to operate the system. All our videos, they are very short. They are less than 2 minutes or 3. So getting started here, we show you how to do your logins and registration. Now here under SDF registration, we show you short videos for SDF registration, linking companies, authorization details, banking details, appointment letters. We show you each and every step. So we don't put one long video, so you can go to the specific video and click it so that you can watch, okay? At the below, we are dealing with WSP submissions, so we do the same thing here, okay? Let me move back to the system. We have human icons here. With these human icons, what you do is to switch roles. You can switch roles. You move back to learning program. You move back to SDF. You don't need to log out and log in for you to switch a role. What you need to do, you just switch roles here. But remember, for you to have this functionality, you must use the current email. If you have a role currently with another department at MICT CETA, you must be able to continue with that email, password, and all the informations and select a new role and register so that the system can add a new role into your current account. Okay? Now we move here. This is what we already have. We have profile, reset password, and help. Under help, it's where you find your user manuals. Okay? Now we move to SDF registration. So under SDF registration, you click here and you'll be able to see active financial years, which is the one that it's at the top, and the below, these are the previous financial years of SDF registration. You need to go to the active financial year. You provide your SDF information here. So this information is the one that was in your profile information, profile site. So we just repopulate this information here. What you need to do, you just need to check the information, update if you wish to update, and click save at the below. Okay? You go to SDF details. You also check the information. If you wish to update, you update and click save at the below. Now we go to the interesting part where you need to link yourself to the company. As an SDF, remember colleagues, let's say you have been working with one company for 2 years or 3 years. You don't need to come back and apply for the same company. What you need to do, you just click confirm. It will appear at the top here. You just click confirm if you are continuing working with the same company. And the status of this company will jump to approved status because you are continuing working with the same company. And if you have a new company that you wish to work with, then we have this button here where you click link a new company. When you click link a new company, you provide their SDL number here, you search, the company information populates. Once the company information populates, you verify the information, then you confirm. After confirming, it will come down here like this ones. There's companies here, so that you can now continue with their application. Okay? Once you start with the application here, you can see the status of this one, it's approved. This one, it says completing registration form, meaning that you need to complete the registration form. How you complete the registration form? Colleagues, these chats are disturbing me. Let me just move out from Teams. Continue with the application. You click edit. Once you click edit, let me show you. Still loading. Come and click edit. Don't know why the system becomes a bit slow. Once you click edit, you will scroll down at the below where you will find this company information. I'll show you. Is the internet fine here? Okay. Yeah, it is. I think it is fine. Okay, let's continue. So once you click edit, it will give you this option here. You have clicked edit on this company. Now it takes the information of this company, brings it here. You can see the SDL, you can see the company name. Once you find out, you see that, then you start your application from point 1 to point number 6. But point number 4 and point number 5 is not a must. You can jump them, okay? So on point number 1, this is where you provide submission details, where you need to answer these few questions and indicate some of the things that we need to understand as MICT SETA. The first one, it says, in which industry is the company involved in? Then that's where you need to select. If you check here, we have advertising. Then you need to select the correct things that are under advertising. We have electronics. You go under electronics and select. We also have film and media and electronic media. You can also do the same. We also have information technology. You can select anything. And then lastly, we have telecommunications. Here, you can go and select under telecommunications. Once you have selected that, you move to the second one, which is it's saying that are you a consultant or acting for the employer? Then you need to also indicate here if you are a consultant or not. And then you also indicate the method of appointments here. If you are appointed by employer, then you need to just select the correct one here. And also you need to select your SDF function from the list, which you need to indicate the correct SDF function. Once you have indicated that, you click Save. You move to the second one, which is authorizer. Under authorizer, this is the authorizer. It can be the director or someone in the company that is authorizing you to submit this application, okay? So you need to provide the information for that person. Type in the name, last name, the gender here, and also provide their contact information, also their email, their designation, and ID. Once you click Save, automatically the system will send an email to the authorizer telling them that SDF Timothy is linking himself to your company. Please be prepared to sign the authorization letter for Timothy. Okay? Then you move to number 3. On number 3, this is where you provide the banking details of the company. You select the banking, the bank. After selecting the bank, if your bank does not appear under this list, just please send us an email so that we can add your bank here. You also indicate the account holder, the account type, saving check or business account. You also enter the account number. You upload the bank letter, okay? Once you have uploaded the bank letter, you click Save. Your information gets saved. Now you can jump from number 4 where it is subsidiary companies. If you don't have subsidiary companies, you can jump number 5 for secondary SDFs. If you don't wish to appoint a secondary SDF, you go straight to number 6. But if you have subsidiary companies, you can add those subsidiary companies here. You add them the same way you have added the first company. What you need to do, you just type in the L number, you click search, then you add the subsidiary company, okay? With the secondary SDF, you do the same thing. You can add a secondary SDF by providing their name, their last name, email address, cell phone number, type of ID and also the ID or passport number here. You click add secondary SDF, which it will add the secondary SDF. Once the secondary SDF is added, it gets populated here at the below. You can delete the secondary SDF or you can add 2 or more secondary SDFs. Then you move to number 6, which is submit for registration. When you come to this page, colleagues, you need to start by downloading appointment letter. Okay. Let me download the appointment letter. I've downloaded my appointment letter. So with this appointment letter, colleagues, I know you are familiar with this one, but for first-time SDFs, how you do it, with this appointment letter, you firstly start by providing your company letterhead at the top. You provide the dates, your physical address. You leave this information the way it is. You leave this one again the way it is. You leave this one. Now you go to the content of the letter. Okay, so the letter here, you need to update the information of the SDF and the company. So the letter reads as follows. This serves to confirm that we have appointed Mr. John Doe. So you will remove Mr. John Doe because it's an example. You put the correct SDF name here. As the primary skills development facilitator or secondary skills development facilitator for our company XYZ. You remove company XYZ, you put your company here. Our company levy number is, you remove this dummy levy number, you put the correct company levy number. Now you provide uploaded, then that's where you can submit SDF registration. If you wish to replace the letter, we don't have a delete function here. You just re-upload. It will override the current letter and you click submit. Okay? That's how we do SDF registration. Any questions before we jumped to WSP? Questions online? No questions. There's a hand. Okay, you can unmute that person.
Hi, colleagues. Good morning. I just need to understand, how do you verify that the SDF has got the authority from the directors of the company to make the changes or to be appointed?
How do you verify?
Morning, colleagues. Remember,
It's not working. Please use.
No.
we verify that we have permission from that company you are representing.
Did you get that?
Yes, yes, I got that to say how you use the letter. I'm saying, how do you verify that is the directors of the company? How do you verify?
Remember, when we go to the WSP, we'll cover that part. When we have the details of the authorizer form, then the person who signs the appointment letter will have their details appearing on the authorizer form.
Oh, I can't hear. Maybe I'm online. But I was just saying, how do you verify?
Okay.
Shouldn't you be requiring the latest CIPC director details of the company? Because that's the only valid director listing of the company.
Okay. They were saying that when they go to the WSP part, that's where they verify if the authorization letter that you have uploaded as an SDF, it tallies with the information of the CIPC, because the CIPC indicates the directors of the companies. Are you now answered?
Okay, thanks, fine, thanks.
Thank
I
you.
was just asking how it's done. Thanks.
There is a hand.
I just want to ask, is it compulsory when SDF attended SDF training from an accredited service provider? Because I saw a question there that you need to upload if you have attended the training, SDF training from an accredited training provider. Or you just have to have an NQF level, which is like much higher than that it can train.
Okay, thanks for that question. Currently, it's not compulsory. We're not verifying that information on the system currently. So we are relying on the SDF letter of appointment, which must have all the details that Timothy has indicated, and also the board members, the directors on it. You know, on the company letterhead, you will find the directors of the company. So we need those directors on the letterhead of that company. Does it answer your question? For now, we're not checking. We are not checking that, but you can do it on your side. We do encourage SDFs to have the training so that they'll have a better understanding on how to do their job for skills development. So for now, it's based on the employer indicating that they're employing you from that letter of appointment.
Any other question? We don't have questions there? Sorry? Online we don't have. Okay. In-house? No questions. Okay, colleagues, I think it is time for tea. When we come back, then we do WSP submission. I'm not sure what time should we come back. 11? 11:35. Okay, thank you, colleagues. Hi, colleagues. I think we should continue. Colleagues online, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now we move to WSP applications. Okay? Thank you. Thank you again. Now we move to WSP application. Remember, now you are an approved SDF. You know how to log in on the system. You understand your navigation. You are an approved SDF for company ABC. Okay? Now you come back to the system, you log in. As an SDF, you provide your email, password, and you click I'm not a robot. You click verify and log in. You select your role here, SDF. You go straight into the first page, which is our dashboard. Under dashboard, I also already showed you how it works and how profile works, how SDF documents works, and also SDF registration. Now you have registered, and then your applications went through internal processes. Now you are an approved SDF. When you are an approved SDF, automatically when you come under WSP, the companies or multiple companies that you applied for or that you have linked yourself to, they will display here. They will be listed here. It will indicate that, okay, SDF registration approved, and now WSP status, it is on started. So what you need to do, you just need to open your WSP, and this is your WSP page. Looking at the WSP page, you can see that you are on this financial year for this company. You see the SDL number here, the company name here. This is the audit tracker. It is used for tracking what your actions on the system. Then we have company details part. We also have WSP details, and then we have the submission part at the below. So with the company details, these are the informations that you have provided, but what you need to do under WSP, you just need to verify also if the information is correct. You click save, okay? And you can update if there is any updates that you want to do. Authorizer information, this is the information of the authorizer that has authorized you previously under SDF registration. The information of the authorizer will populate here. What you need to do, you click save. Banking details, if you have done your WSP your SDF registration before the WSP window can open, now you need to update your banking details. You just come here and re-upload the banking details. And you click save. And then the banking details, new banking details will be uploaded. Okay? And here it's where you find your subsidiary companies. If you have listed subsidiary companies under your SDF registration, they will be listed here. And also you can add your subsidiary companies from here. You can search for their T numbers or L numbers. and then you find those subsidiary companies here, okay? Once you click Add Subsidiary Company, they will be listed here at the below. So this is the company information details, okay? Now we move to WSP forms. Here we'll spend time under this page because I need to be in detail. I'll remove some of my data so that you will be able to understand how it works. Okay? So, under employment profile, WSP forms, we have Form 1 until Form 13. We also have an option for large companies that they have more than 50 employees. They need to add a training committee here. So for small companies, the training committee, it is not a mandatory field, meaning that they can just fill in the forms from 1 to 13 with no problem. But when it comes to companies that has more than 50 employees, the training committee tab will appear here in between 1 and 2 form so that they can add a training committee. Okay? Let's start. Here we need to concentrate because most of our SDFs, they make mistakes here and they duplicate their data here. So how do we load information for employment profile to date? We have two options, where option number 1 is to add them through the system by clicking this button, Add New Profile, or we can download a template, which it is a bulk upload template. Let me just rename it. Rename it Form 1 DBN. And save. Okay, so with our first option, how do you do that? So firstly, you need to click Add Profile. Once you have clicked Add Profile, you must indicate the OFO major. Maybe you can say manager. And then you need to indicate the sub-major, administrative, and you also need to indicate the occupation, which you can say finance manager. Okay? Then you come to this part where you need to add your address. So when you add your address with this part, you click, and then it gives you an option to search. You can start searching by typing, let's say, city. And then if you are from City of Johannesburg, you can indicate that, okay, you are from City of Joburg. Then how do we enter information here? When it comes to this, colleagues, you need to understand that if you are indicating here that you have 5 African male and you have 10 African females, when it comes to disability, you cannot have 16 disabled people, because 5 plus 10 females, it must, this disability number comes from this total number here. So you need to make sure that your disability number is between from 0 to 15. Okay? So I'll try and add 17. Ne? And try and add other information. So this is wrong, but I will continue. so that I can show you how it works. Then you move to the colored. We can say here you have 5. And then we move to the Indians, we have 5. Whites, we have 5. So colleagues, what we need to understand again here, the total number, the entire total number of all these ethnic groups here, you must know the total number. If 5 plus 5 is 10, plus this 10 here, it is 20, it means we have a total number of 30, okay? Meaning that we have 10 males and we have 20 females, okay? So when the number is 30 there, when you come and indicate your age group, you need to indicate the age group of all those 30 guys. So the age group here, you can say the age group is 20, and the age group here, it will be 5, and here it will be 5. Then it is 30. But once you say the age group this side, it is 10. Meaning that already we have 35. 20 plus 10 is 30, plus 5 in the middle is 35. Meaning it is wrong. You need to know the total number from here, the total number of male and females. Okay? So the total number of males and male and female, it is 20 females and 10 males, meaning it is 30, okay? I'll continue and put the wrong information going forward. 20 and 5 and 10 again. When I click save, it will raise an exception, okay? So it comes back again. Let me correct here, 5, 5. But it will still raise an exception because here we said we have 5 males and 10 females, but we say disabled is 17, meaning that it is wrong. So when I click save, it raised the same exception, meaning that we need to fix this part here. So this part here, the total, the number that is here under disability must not exceed this number of males and female combined. Okay? So we can put 10 disabled. Then when you click save, it will allow. That's how we enter the information on the system. Okay? I can show you on the spreadsheet. It works the same way the system works. Let me open the spreadsheet. Again, when it comes to the spreadsheet, colleagues, please don't copy and paste your data into the spreadsheet. What you need to do here, we provided drop-downs for you to select the data. So you need to select the data from our drop-downs. Because once you start to copy and paste data into the spreadsheet, our spreadsheet, it is no longer compatible with our system, meaning that you will try and upload and it will fail because you will be copying data. Once you start to copy data, you are copying formulas that are belonging from a different spreadsheet into our spreadsheet, meaning that the system will reject that. Okay? So what you need to do when it comes to this part, also we provided you with drop-downs. You need to select OFO major. I'll select the professional one. And then you select the sub-major. I'll go for health. Remember, colleagues, With this one, it works the same way with like the system. The difference is this one is the spreadsheet, but when you select this information, whatever that you selected first, it determines what needs to be selected on the next drop down. Okay? We went for professionals and then under health professional, and then now we go here. You can see it shows everything that is under health. Okay? And then you select, automatically it displays your OFO code. All right? Then here under municipality also, we do the same thing. You can scroll to check your municipality, but I know that it will be a long process. What you need to do, you just need to type and search, okay? I typed 1513, which is my code. Automatically it displays according to the code. You can also type a name if you don't want to use the code. You can also type a name like city. Once you type city, it displays the cities that are here. Okay? Then you are able to select. Then you move to the part that I have showed you that deals with males and females. With this part here, you can say you have 5 African males and you don't have females. You go to the colors community. And then here also you say you have maybe 5 females. You move, you go to the Indians. You say you have 5 males. You move to the whites, and then you say you have 5 males, for example. Automatically on the spreadsheet, it calculates for you. Now it shows you that you have 15 males and 5 females. This number combined, it means you have 20. So when it comes to age group also, you need to look at the age group, combining this number of 20 here, meaning that when it comes to our age group, you need to indicate that, okay, under this age group, here you have 10, 30 to 55, we have 5, and then 55 and greater, we have 5. It is equals to 20. Then when you upload the spreadsheet, it won't give you an error. But once you start to say, here it is 15 or less number from this 20, the system will give you an error that row number 12, you did not put correct data because your age group does not tally or is not equal to the total number of males and females. Okay? You also move to the juniors in terms of the skills, junior, intermediate, and seniors. You need to apply the same method when it comes to this one. If you have juniors, that is 10. Intermediate, you have 5. Then seniors, you have 5. Remember, this is total of 20. And here, the number of females and males is 20. 15 plus 5 is 20. Then when it comes to here, also this number must be equal to 20. And then also here, the age group, the number must be equal to 20. Once it starts to be less than 20 or more than 20, then the system will reject the entire row. Okay? Then once you are done with your spreadsheet, I will advise companies that they have less than 50 employees or 50 employees to just load the data straight into the system, because using the spreadsheet, it gets processed in the background, maybe after an hour. Sometimes it takes time if the load is too much. So, but if you go straight to the system and load your data, then you will submit your application straight away, okay? And the difference between these spreadsheets, when you upload this bulk upload spreadsheet, okay? We provided a video for you to convert the spreadsheet into a CSV, but we now allowed you to continue and upload the Excel file. The difference is, if you upload the Excel file, it takes time to load, okay? And if you upload a CSV file, it's quick to load. So you'll choose what you need to upload, but don't do this at the final day, because if all of you are going to upload Excel files on the last day, that's when you will complain and say the system is slow, because Timothy will be uploading an Excel file that has 12,000 rows. Someone upload on the other side 3,000 rows, and now we expect the system to function well with that, with the processing of all those files. I'll advise you to, if you know that you have large files, please upload as soon as possible so that you avoid the traffic on the system. Okay? Now we have a total of 30 employees here. So once we have a total of 30 employees, remember I did not upload my 20 employee spreadsheet. So I will continue from the system so that I can show you other example. Once you have uploaded that spreadsheet, you will have a button here that shows you the report in terms of your spreadsheet, where it indicates that row number 15, you did not put the correct data. Row number 5, the number of disabilities is higher than the number of males and females. It will give you those error reports. Then what you need to do, you check your error report, you go back to your spreadsheet, you fix those rows, okay? Before you re-upload the spreadsheet, you need to click delete all, because if you don't click delete all, it will duplicate the information. Remember, you have uploaded the first spreadsheet, few rows were not accepted because of those outstanding errors, and now you fixed the entire spreadsheet, you are uploading it, so it's going to add on top of what you have previously uploaded. So we have this button here called delete all. So before you re-upload a new spreadsheet, you just need to clear everything and re-upload a new spreadsheet, okay? Then let me show you for those large companies that they need to put a training committee, which I told you that it will appear under 1 and 2. So currently we added the information, we have total of 30. Let me add more employees here so that we can have the total of 60, that it's more than 50. So I'll come back and select and go under profession, sub-major health, after health, and then I go under occupation, and then general medical practitioner. Then I search for my municipality here. Then now I need to add my 10, 15, we have a 25 here. If we have 10 plus 15 is 25. And then disability, we can say 5. We must not exceed the number. And then we come back here, we say we have 5, we move, and then it means now from this here, we have 15 men, 15 females, meaning that it's 30. Then we come back here, again, we add 5, 5, meaning that now we have 40, we have 10 here. 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 10 here at the below, it is 20. And then we have 15, which is 15 plus 5, it is 20. Then it means we have 40. Now let's come to this part again. Let me add 5, 5. Then now, if we calculate the entire total, colleagues, you can see that the total of females here from this side, we have a total of 25 females. And then on this other side, we have a total of 25 males. Okay? So 25 males plus 20 males, it means it is 55. Okay? So what we need to do now, we understand that the number of males and females, it is 55. Now what we need to do is to come here and indicate the age group. Okay? In terms of the age group, when it comes to this part, let me recalculate this one. 5 plus this is 25, and then it's 25, 25, 25 this side, and 25 this side, which is equals to 50. Okay? Now we indicate the age group. We can say we have intermediate 30, and we have juniors, which is 30. Intermediate, we can say we have 10, and here we also have 10, meaning that this is the total of 50, and we also look at the total here because it is 10, 5 plus 5 plus 5, 15 plus 10, it is equals to 25, and also we also have a 25 this side, which is equals to 50. Now we divided our 50 into this 10 plus 30 plus 10, 10, which is 50. Now we come back here under skills. You need to indicate your skills also, whether juniors, we have 30 juniors, and also 10 intermediate, and we have 10 seniors. Then you click save. Once you click save, it goes here and add the number of employees. Now we have a total of 80 employees. Now the training committee part appears here in between 1 and 2. We have the training committee. How do we add the training committee? Let me remove my current training committee that I have. So again, colleagues, remember that when it comes to an SDF, we have this note here at the top. An SDF cannot be part of the training committee. So as an SDF, you are not part of the training committee. I understand that with other CETAs, you are part of training committee, but at MICT CETA, we don't allow that. Okay? Now you add your training committee. You put the initial, name, and the last name. You select the type of an ID, and you put the passport. You indicate the role. The roles here, we have employee representatives, we have employer representative, and a trade union. You select one, and you select the designation. You click save. You also go again to the same button. You provide the information. passport. Then you put your employee representative, employer representative, which maybe it's a CEO. You click save. You add the last one. Designation. You click save. So now you have your training committee. With your training committee, you only add 3 training committee members, which is an employee representative, employer representative, and a trade union. Okay? Now you can jump to other forms. Let me jump to form number 2. Under form number 2, that's where you indicate your WSP budget. You can indicate your WSP budget from here, and your PTP budget. Then you click save. You move to scarce skills. We also have a note here at the top so that you can read it before adding the information of the scarce skills. Then you just, here under form number 3, we don't have a bulk upload option. What we have, we only add the information straight into the system. Okay, so colleagues, I'll show you all the forms and how it works, but how we enter the information on the forms, it is the same way. It does not differ from other forms, okay? So we are adding a scarce skills. Now you need to indicate the major of all. Let me say technicians, sub-major, engineering, occupation, water control officer, specialization. Also you indicate. And also you indicate the intervention, whether it's a bursary or short program, you need to indicate the intervention. And other interventions you can type here. I'll just type test, and then you also need to indicate whether it is NQF aligned or not. Once you say yes, you need to indicate the NQF level. When you say no, you don't need to indicate the NQF level. Okay? Here you have to indicate the structural source of scarcity. We have this list here. And then you need to specify also the reason for scarcity. And then you specify the reason. And also extent of shortage, and then you indicate whether it's a long-term, medium, or short-term. Then lastly, you need to indicate if you are planning to recruit outside the Republic. When you say yes, you need to indicate the number of how many. When you say no, you don't need to indicate the number. And you click save. There's the information that was loaded now. Then you move to critical skills. With the critical skills, we add the information the same way we added scarce skills. Okay? So we don't have a bulk upload, we just follow the same method of adding the information. Just follow the same method of adding the information. And then critical skills, again, NQF aligned or not, you indicate. And then the term, medium, and also you indicate the reason of the shortage. You click save. So form number 3 and form number 4 information. We don't have a bulk upload on these forms. This is how they work. Then we move to form number 5. Form number 5, you just need to type your WSP PTP annual payroll, and you type the number here, and you click save. Form number 6, which is our planned training. Under form number 6, we use the same method that we used in form number 1, where we download a template, or we can add the information from here. Okay? Form number 7, still the same thing. The method that I've showed you in form number 1 still works in form number 7. Again, colleagues, form number 8, it is not compulsory for first-time submission, meaning that if you are a new SDF, you are submitting this year, and your company is submitting this year, this is not a must for that company. But it happens that you are a new SDF, you are a first-time submitter, but your company is not a first-time submitter. You were linked to this company, meaning that this information will be required. Okay? So when you call, don't say, you said this is not required, I'm a first-time submitter, but I must submit this information, which I did not submit for this company in the previous years. If the company has submitted for WSP in the previous years, the system will require you to submit this information, meaning that the employer must provide the information for you so that you can submit, because the system it will be able to detect and check that in the previous financial year you have submitted, then this information it is required. But for those companies that they did not submit, they don't need to submit actual training, which is form number 8. They don't need to submit form number 9. Okay? They don't need to submit form number 10. And also form number 11, it does not apply to them because it is a variance report. The variance between what happened last year compared to what is happening this year. So they won't have a variant because they are a new applicant. Okay? Under variant report, if I can open, these are the numbers. So we are able to compare everything that is here in terms of the variant. Then we move to form number 12. Under form number 12, this is where you need to complete our survey. The survey, it is dynamic, meaning that this year you can have these questions. If the SSP team wish to ask new questions, they will just change the questions. Okay? So you need to answer all this information from start, from the top to the below one, and you click Save Answer. Then you move to ATR, what is it? Assessment. Impact assessment. Under impact assessment is the same thing. What you need to do, you need to also answer the information of the impact assessment. And at the below, where you need to type in the information, you just type in, and at the below, you just click Save. This is the impact assessment. Then, once you are done and your WSP forms have ticks all here, then you can move to Submit WSP. Under Submit WSP, you start by printing the authorization letter. Okay? The authorization letter will take all the information of the authorizer, the SDF, and also the union team here, so that they can sign that authorization letter. Okay, the committee team, I mean. So if I print the authorization letter, it has the committee members here at the below, and everyone needs to sign and write a date here. Okay, this is our authorization letter. Then after it gets signed, you come here and re-upload the authorization letter. Remember, if you uploaded a wrong document, there is no delete function on our system. What you need to do, you just need to click and re-upload. It will override the previous letter. Okay? You provide these documents that they are here. We added this document, so meaning that this year you just upload it. We are not going to request it after you have submitted your application. Okay? Then we come to proof of training. With proof of training, we only accept 5 files. Okay? 5 files, we don't mean if you have 10 invoices under one attachment, then we don't accept that. We can accept that, but we only don't accept more than 5, meaning that if you have uploaded first document, second, third, and then if you want to upload more than 5 documents, that's when we don't accept it. All our documents must be less than 10 megabytes. Okay? So what you need to upload here in terms of the training proof, you need to upload financial statement indicating the cost of training. You need to upload a signed attendance register, and it must be signed by the trainees. A certificate of completion, if you have one. Training fact file, scripts, and transcripts here at the below. So we only allow 5 attachments. Then we move to the below part. So if I can upload one of the documents here, let me just upload one. Let me upload 2 transcripts. Now, the upload button is no longer there because I have already uploaded 5 documents. Okay? Now, going down, this is where you see the summary. We have a total of 80 employees, and it indicates to us the total of disabled, the total of females, the total of males. Okay? Also, if we have completed all other forms here in terms of the training profile, we're going to have the information. The thing is, we have jumped these forms here. Going down, it shows you what you have left on your application. So everything must be ticked green here, besides the forms that we said they are not compulsory for first-time submitters. Okay? Then you click submit, which is where you submit your WSP application. Any questions, colleagues, from this one? Online, in the room? Okay.
I just wanted to find out, are digital signatures acceptable on that authorization form?
Administrators and advisors can answer to that. Yes, they're saying yes, it is acceptable. Any other question? Okay. Let's wait for the mic.
Hi, I just want to ask about the financial statement as a proof of payment. Are you only taking that because sometimes it's hard for us to actually get the financial statement to the clients?
The business answered that.
You can provide a proof of payment from the bank and the training invoices. And proof of payment from the bank.
Online? Do you have questions online? Okay.
Suzette has a question. Suzette, you can go ahead.
Good afternoon. I just want to find out if we have 1,000 training transactions, invoices, etc. How do we go about that?
Okay, you can sample those implemented trainings or proof of training, and make sure that the files that you are uploading, they don't exceed 10 megabytes. So currently we are using 10% of the sample, and then if there is a change, with that will indicate via email or on our website.
Online, it was only one?
Yes, it was just Suzette.
Okay.
Okay, I think this then brings us to the end of our session. Colleagues, maybe I should greet everyone since I'm speaking for the first time today. And I know it's the end of the meeting, but my name is Kanyisa Jack. I am the newly appointed Sector Skills Planning Manager at MICT CETA. We really appreciate your attendance today, and we know that we communicated the venue quite late yesterday, and we apologize for that on our side. But yeah, thank you very much for making time to attend the session, and we appreciate your engagement today. Thank you to the MICT team for organizing these sessions. This is the last of our sessions. We've been going around the country and we had some virtual sessions. So thank you very much, team, for the dedication and all the hard work that went into putting this together for our stakeholders. And thank you for ICT, Tim, for the training as well. So just in closing, we do have some outstanding active queries for the 2024 WSP-ATR submissions. I think we have about 50 companies that still have some active queries whose WSPs have not been completed. So we are imploring to those that have active queries to please check the system to ensure that you submit everything by the 14th of March to give sufficient time to the team to then evaluate and close the 2024 financial year applications by the 31st of March. And then just in terms of housekeeping, for those who drove here today, we do have validated parking tickets. I'm not sure Tia or Gogo who has the tickets or if we've already issued them. Tia in front has the parking ticket that is validated. And then that brings us to the end of our session. Thank you very much to our online participants as well. Thank you, colleagues. That's the end of the workshop.